Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Mind Over Money, a show where we talk about ways how meditation, yoga, and behavioral science can help you become a better and a more efficient trader, investor, as well as a better human being. Well, my name is Shatajanand, and today we have with us a very special guest, Devang Mehta, who's a director, equity advisor at Spark Capital Private Wealth Management. Now, Devang has more than 23 years of experience in the areas of wealth management, investment advisory, equity research, equity sales, as well as portfolio management. Welcome to the show, Devang.
Pleasure to be on this show. Thanks a lot for the opportunity.
Thank you so much for your time, Devang. And well, today, like I said earlier, today we'll not be talking about Sensex and Nifty, but we'll be talking about you. In fact, you have over 2 decades of experience in capital markets across various domains. Tell us, how do you keep yourself mentally fit?
Kshitij is such a pertinent question, right? Because we all go through our ups and downs and stress times as well. Yeah, so I think it's really, if I can say without exaggeration, that I'm lucky to do what I love and I love what I do. I think that's something which gives me a big high. Cultivating an attitude of gratitude. Again, I think a lot of people don't follow this practice where you offer gratitude to things and they ask God for all things. I just go and exhibit my gratitude that you've given me a lot. Just probably keep your blessings going on. So that, I think that attitude also helps you a lot. Clearly, I also feel that I get in touch with my emotions and also check whether my goals are in alignment with my values. This looks very abstract, but I think at times you also feel that whether my goals and values are in the same place, and that will again give you a good step up in your life if you can do that. On the physical side, again, the physical and mental side, both. I play badminton, I play cricket.
Very nice.
Complete Bollywood buff. I look at a lot of movies which a lot of people wouldn't be seeing. I'm not an OTT guy. I still like to go to the cinema halls, and in interval I call for popcorn and samosas. So that's something which gives me a lot of I can say motivation when I see good motivating movies, listening to music, sometimes reciting music. Completely a people's person. Again, my life sutra has been my network is my net worth. Again, that's something which I have a lot of friends. I spend time with my family. I spend time with my friends. As I said, I'm a teetotaler, so high on life, not high on spirits. So that's also something which keeps me a lot of impetus on spending that type of thing. And I also keep life very simple. Life, cricket and markets are very simple. People make it exotic. So that's where I believe that the small things in life are important rather than the bigger things. Otherwise, you will repent that I didn't enjoy the small things.
Absolutely well said there, Devang. Your network is the net worth. I think a great or a big takeaway from the conversation so far that we had. Now, you did talk about badminton. Let me also emphasize on that. So, badminton is definitely a great way to energize and stay focused. Take us through your routine as well as the specific routine that you follow on that front.
So my routine starts around say 6 a.m. When I try to wake up. It's sometimes difficult, but I make it a point to wake up around 6 a.m. A bit of meditation, a bit of gratitude, as I said, and the to-do list for the day is something that I try to follow. This is again followed by dropping my son to the school, which is again very close to my heart, to spend that 10 minutes in the morning when I drop him to the school. And again, he's a school badminton team captain. So there also nice. What I also, so on weekends I sometimes go and attend his complete training by his coaches, and that is a very selfish approach because I also learned from that, and it's sort of also improved my game when I see him training. So that I coach him sometimes before some important tournaments as well. So that's morning routine a bit. Then it's followed by around 8 a.m. breakfast with my dad and my wife. That also is one routine which I follow. Post that, of course, the work life starts, and that starts up with a daily morning call with the network of private bankers and stuff. Again, the day is completely crowded with a lot of client meetings. You also have your research papers to look at, do a lot of
Right.
research with the team, meetings with the private bankers, alignment with your goals. You have to sort of manage portfolios as well, right? So that's the most important part of our job. So getting into research, advisory mode, engagement with the clients, these are all very important part. And then again, appearing on media, electronic media, writing for print media as well as digital media. So this is the routine. I travel a lot. Almost every 15 days, I'm in Delhi or Chennai or Bangalore. I'm meeting clients over there, doing large format events and sometimes small group events as well. So this is normally my work life. Post that in the evening, I try to probably at least catch up twice a week on badminton, twice or thrice a week, and on weekends. A couple of days on the weekends where I try to play badminton with either my friends or my son and his friends. That's also very important for me. And luckily, we have a badminton court in our complex, so it does not give me any lame excuses as such. That Devang, you can't play, you can't do your physical activities. And if I don't play badminton, at least I go for a 45-minute brisk walk. So that's what a bit of gives me energy and charges me again for the next day. And also by badminton, I think you get it's a game of one physical strength, but also a bit of mental agility. Right? When you play singles, you have nobody to rely on. You have nobody to rely on when you play singles. You just have to blame yourself, improve your game. And that's I think something very important when you are a solo performer. And when you play doubles, you have to synchronize, you have to get in sync with your partner, you have to play to his weakness and your strengths. I think that's also something which is a big learning when you play badminton. It gives you a lot of physical strength and mental agility as well.
Absolutely. No, it all talks about the teamwork, and if you're playing solo, if you've become an individual contributor, you just work on yourself every day, improve the game, and stay focused and stay ahead in life. Now, you did talk about the cricket as well. Now, let me also, cricket is also one of my favorite games as well. So it's definitely a great way to, sort of a way to evolve your strategy. Any key learnings from the game that you used in leadership or strategy building?
Yeah, I think cricket, again, as you rightly said, it's close to almost every Indian's heart, and that is where you get a lot of kicker in your life as well. So I've been lucky to be playing cricket since my childhood days, and now as even your lot of turfs are available where you can go and play cricket as well. So I've been generally a wicketkeeper and an opening batsman, and more often than not captain too. Not now, but earlier part of my life, I used to be even a captain for my team. Being a wicketkeeper gives you a 360 degrees view of the ground, right? So you probably know the strategy a little bit more. Normally the bowler and the wicketkeeper can get a 360 degree view of the ground. So there I've been lucky that you look at what's happening across, what are the team members doing, are they playing to their strengths? So that's one important part. Second, I always felt that my game is, though it's in current times, it's not a great thing to say, but I used to play like a bit like Rahul Dravid. Being a wall for the team, a sheet anchor role, the wicket has to be earned. It can't be sort of just easily given away. So that's where my role was for my team. So that's what was my role for my team. And out of that, a lot of strategies that we learn are that in your corporate life as well, learn from your mistakes. And there are mistakes going to happen, right? In investments, in markets, in everywhere, there are mistakes going to happen. So what are the key learnings from that? How can you improve on those mistakes? It's very important we all tell our clients that I will not make the same mistakes which I've made in the last 23 years, right? So probably new mistakes will be made, but that's a very pragmatic approach that you can take when you learn from this. Again, cricket teaches you one very another important thing is that attack is sometimes the best form of defense, right? Take head on. Life and markets both give you opportunities sometimes, but you're very scared. So to take that scare is gone out when you probably know that things will be better for sure, right? And optimism also thrives when you play such part. The most important learning I also feel is cohesiveness. Right? Cricket is a team game of 11 players or 14 players plus your coach and all. So that's where you have to probably capitalize on your strength, improve on your weaknesses. You should know your strength and weaknesses, and that's where I think it's a big learning as a corporate as well as personal life. That cricket is something which sort of teaches you all such lessons.
No, absolutely. Golden words there coming in from you, Devang, and I'm sure our viewers will take note of that, because if you just play the cricket and don't focus on the strategy, that is also something where we miss out, and those learnings can be deployed wherever you work, or wherever, be it strategy building or in wherever areas that you're working with, you'll be able to deploy that kind of strategy in your workspace as well. Now, Devang, you are in the leadership roles and you have decades of experience now. What motivates you? Has there been any instance where you thought that it is the end of the road, probably?
Yes, there have been certain instances, but
Hmm.
honestly, as I said, being optimistic and never say die are two things which sort of are developed over this period. And there have been moments in my life when you lost your loved one, like I lost my mother a couple of years back, which sort of
Okay.
was never a thing that you can imagine. But
Hmm.
what I have seen is there are people around you sometimes who sort of motivate you, who give you that type of I can say support or motivation, where you
Okay.
feel that no, it's not the end of the road. You have still duties to sort of
Hmm.
get into. You have your personal life, you have your professional life, where you are aligned to a lot of duties. So I've
Hmm.
been lucky to, as I say, have people around me where
Okay.
they have supported. So my dad has worked for L&T for 30 years,
Oh,
an
wow.
engineer from Vijay TI. So he guides me. He's now retired, of course, but he guides me through
Hmm.
the corporate life. Devang, this happens, right? So you have to be strong and you have to develop that attitude. So that's coming from him. My wife is a Vastu consultant,
Ah,
astrologer, numerologist, and a
Arriba.
tarot card reader. So yeah, so she also, I look forward for her support when during the thick and thin. I'm also lucky to have mentors and colleagues around me. There have been bosses, and currently
Hmm.
also I work with a mentor who sort of motivates me during the tough times. And they also say that tough times do not last, but tough people do. So that's
Right.
also something which I take forward from. In sort of tough times during COVID, I developed one more passion. I don't write
Hmm.
poems, of course. I'll not lie on that, but
Uh-huh.
I take out poems maybe from Google or from some good lyrics writers, and I create motivational videos on
Ah,
weekends. I recite poems, and I try to self motivate myself. And by doing that, I think that
right.
also circulates
Hmm.
on social media. So a lot of people probably take some key takeaways from that.
Right.
Of course, life is going to be difficult, but you need to fight through life. So that's, I think, been normally the
Yeah.
sutra.
No, no, absolutely. I mean, that's a very good thing, and I'm sure by not you're not keeping it to yourself. That's another thing. You're making sure that the goodness is out in the open, and you become a medium to spread those goodness. Now, let's also focus that you know we know that you love stock markets, right? At the end of the day, that's your love, and that's you only. Or you also said that you're fortunate that what you love is what you do. So how your journey started in the stock market? Take us through that story as well.
So I hope it does not look exaggerated, but I'll be very frank. There was
No,
there
no.
was this culture in my house where there was an equity cult. So my dad
Okay.
and my late grandfather always used to invest their disposable income into equities, and this was the time of Hero Honda, Hero Motocorps, and HDFC banks and Reliance coming up with IPOs during those
Uh-huh.
times. And
Okay.
in the 90s or late 80s,
Hmm.
when I was 14 and in ninth standard, I was taught how to fill IPO forms. Because my
Uh,
dad and grandfather didn't have the time to fill up the IPO forms, so I was just interested to feel, and
hmm.
honestly, I was ready to go. But at 14, you're not allowed. You're being a minor.
Right.
At
Right.
18 years of age, when I cleared my 12th standard, I was promised that Devang,
Hmm.
I would buy you a VCR if you sort of come out with flying colors. At 18, yes,
Yeah.
I did good in my 12th. I asked my dad that now it's the time to buy me a VCR, and he said, "No, Devang, see, VCRs will come in life, but there is a good company's IPO coming up. I had 11,000 rupees of pocket money. He said, invest in this company." And I just
Okay.
applied to the IPO of a company which today has compounded at 31% CAGR.
Wow.
In 93, it's 30 years. If I today say that I knew that this company is great, I'm fooling myself. I asked my dad, what is this company doing? He said, it's doing this. You just apply. So dad's wisdom, God was kind. And the
Oh,
journey after that, I take bit of credit. Because a
right.
lot of times when you do your masters, or when you
Hmm,
work
hmm,
in your
hmm.
professional life, a lot of people tell you, Devang, this company will now shrink, yahan pe ye hoga, or all such
Hmm.
things came to the picture. But then holding through difficult times, a
Right.
business, and let it compound by itself, right? There
Right.
was time which was ignorance was bliss. Now it's not such a time. But earlier, when you
Yes.
have a
Hmm.
good company, right, there are so many stories. So I held
Hmm.
it through. And this is the best part of my student life, which I felt there was this compounding magic, which is called the eighth wonder of the world, which I learned over there. There is something called wealth creation, preservation, and multiplication, which I now apply to all my clients' wealth as well. After completing my masters, I first sort of joined the broking industry. I was a part of Angel One, Angel Broking, the erstwhile Angel Broking, where I learned the trick of the trade. But what I realized is that while you trade, the broker makes money. While you invest, the client makes more money, and that thing has stayed with me. And that from then on, I improved and studied more fundamentals. I read Warren Buffett, I read Benjamin Graham. I sort of applied my mind to talking about hardcore fundamentals, be it qualitative, be it quantitative, ROE, durable competitive advantage, sustainable competitive advantage, moat, pricing power, all such has stayed with me. And that's where I applied it to the wealth management scheme of things. In 2009, I joined Anand Rathi, where again, I felt that communication is very important with the end client as well. So that's where I did a lot of HNI client meetings. I would have traveled to approx 135 plus cities in India, right from Karur, Tirunelveli, Madurai, Erode, down south to Patiala, Panipat, Bathinda, Jammu up north, and done a lot of events where again this around 200 to 800,000 people event at a stretch, where trying to provide them that equities are good asset class to invest. Right, to develop,
give them the exposure.
Exposure. So this was in the mornings we used to do HNI events, ultra HNI events. In the evenings we used to do mass affluent events. So this is what I did at Anand Rathi. This continued at the international forum at the BNP Paribas Wealth stint which I had. So I was a part of BNP Paribas Wealth, where I used to go to Hong Kong, Singapore, and Dubai to do such events. It was followed with Centrum Wealth, and now even at Spark Capital Private Wealth, I keep on doing it through various different media, like your platform or any other platform, electronic media, print media, digital media, and doing such events and in industry seminars as well. Sorry, a long answer.
No, absolutely. No, nothing. I'm sure, our viewers will take note of that as well. Now, we're talking about young investors. So what advice would you give to young investors on how to control their emotions when making, investing or trading decisions?
I think investing actually is very simple, as I said in my first answer. People try to make it exotic. So first of all, just try to develop a childlike curiosity. That's what I tell people. Because market is all about learning, relearning, and unlearning. There are a lot of things you need to unlearn as well, because the trends are changing. There is high amount of disruption also which is happening in the markets right now. That's one part. Second, I always tell that Rome was not built in a day. And you can't probably expect instant gratification or short-term gains should not get crowded. So you have to first decide you want to be a trader, you want to be an investor. You can't be probably half of both. That's my firm belief. If you're an investor, don't look at the screen so early in your life. Just let it mature, give it time, right? You need to give time to yourself. And that's very important. I also believe that over diversification kills sometimes. So don't diversify your portfolio by buying 50, 70, 80 businesses. Be a bit of concentrator. I'm not saying buy 5, but be a bit of concentrator. That's also a very important thing to learn. One of the most crucial behavioral aspect that I always feel is focus on controllable. That somebody taught me this very early in my life, that some things are out of control, right? The market behavior today, it's out of my control, right? What's going to happen in US or China? So you need to follow the news, but you can't follow it and take your investment decisions only on them. That's also very important, right? Because you have what you can control is your portfolio, your behavior, your greed and fear. Those are qualities that you learn in behavioral finance. So I study behavioral finance a lot, where I tell people that you have to completely focus on what is under your control. Give your investments some time. It's very important that the long-term portfolio wealth creation will only fructify if you are patient and if you are disciplined. That's again a very important key learning. I remember this quote from Warren Buffett that games are won by people who play on the playing field rather than whose eyes are only glued to the scoreboard. So this applies to, I think, your investments as well as in cricket. So I'm trying to relate that. And I think that's it. That's my advice to the youngsters.
Well, on that note, thank you so much for your time, Devang. And that's all for now. But do stay logged on to etmarkets.com for more on news, business, and economy. Thank you so much for your time, Devang.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Hitesh.